What's up, guys?
Hey,
What's happening?
And welcome back. Boy, has it been a while.
it's been a minute.
And what an absolute banger of an episode to come back for. This is my favorite episode of the year. It is our Nothing But Controversy
Controversial.
mock draft
Controversy.
special.
Special.
All right. So we're going to be going over the 32, or I guess 31 picks
Fuck
in
you,
the draft this year. How it's going to work is all of us have created our own mock draft of the 31 picks, and we split it up into four sections. Section 1 to 8, and then so on every 8 picks. And yeah, we're allowed trades. You're allowed to do whatever you want with it. We're not going to get into the logistics of a trade of a guy trading up 5 spots. We're not going to create a whole trade. Just we're going to assume they figured out a way to get it done. All right. So before we get to the first pick, I mean, Carolina is not the team who finished in last place this year.
They're not.
That is big news. Trading up 8 spots with the Chicago Bears to go and get their guy at number 1. So that is big news. Pretty much everyone's going to get fired if they miss on this pick because they just traded away a lot of their future. So I mean, I pray they get it wrong because, I'm a Saints fan, but
It's kind of crazy to me though. Like, I feel like if you trade to the number 1 pick, you got to know who you're taking, and I don't even think they do. Like, I think they just did it for shits and giggles. Like,
They said,
I mean,
let's draft first.
yeah. I mean, the GM came out and said that there's a consensus in the draft room, and they're excited about it. I think a lot of our first picks are probably going to be similar unless someone decides to shock the world here. But
but even at that, I know who the consensus is now. But was there not the whole clip of the coach talking to CJ Stroud and saying like, "Oh yeah, we'll shoot some hoops when you live in Carolina." Like, it's weird.
Yeah.
Guy's just a dick. Made fucking CJ Stroud think he was gonna go number 1.
Yeah. Anyways, without further ado, let's start this draft.
Dun, 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 dun.
Do it.
The absolute best sound in sports. With the first pick in the 2023 Matthew Campbell Nothing But Controversy mock draft special, the Carolina Panthers select Bryce Young, quarterback, Alabama. My goodness, am I excited to see this man play in the NFL.
With the first overall pick in the 2023 NFL entry draft, the Carolina Panthers are going to select Bryce Young, quarterback, Alabama.
Yeah, well, I won't say it for a third time. But yeah, Bryce Young's going 1 to Carolina. I think it is the consensus now everywhere you look, but who knows? We'll never know until Thursday night.
It's a clean sweep here.
Okay.
Young's going 1. It's a lock, boys.
A lot of controversy. But listen, man, Bryce Young, I've been watching this guy play at Bama. The guy's been the best player in college football since the second he walked on the turf. To me, he is the number 1 pick, without a doubt. He's been the number 1 pick and the best quarterback in this draft this whole season. Maybe you don't think so. I don't know why you're saying no. He won the Heisman last year, 2 years ago, and I thought he did fine with a Bama team that was beat up last year.
Beat up with 5-star backups. It's real tough. Real tough life he lived.
I don't know, man. Bama's kind of in a downward spiral here, man.
It's so tough. It's so tough to be at Bama right now.
Downward spiral. Because you didn't win a fucking natty this year. Downward spiral. Jesus.
All right, so let's go to number 2. And, that's going to be the Houston Texans pick. There's a lot of discussion of whether they go quarterback or whether they go defense here. But I'm going to stick with what I thought was going to happen. Originally, I thought they were going to go with CJ, but I changed it, and I'm going with Will Levis out of Kentucky, going number 2 to Houston.
Whoa.
A shocker.
That is a shocker.
I'm getting real Zach Wilson vibes.
Yeah, guy puts fucking mayonnaise in his coffee.
That is sickening.
Dude, have you seen the way he eats a banana?
Yeah, with the peel.
Banana's already disgusting to begin
But
with.
Relax. Guy's a freak, bro.
that would be the biggest red flag
Oh, dude,
for sure.
100%. With the second pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, the Houston Texans select Will Anderson, edge.
Wow.
Alabama.
Yeah, I think their phones are going to be buzzing, going crazy. But at the end of the day, I think they're going to say, fuck it. You know what? Will Anderson's there. And he's probably the best defensive player by far. You know, he's going to come in and start and do good for you guys. So I think they're just not going to overthink it and pick Will Anderson Jr. as well out of Alabama.
The Houston Texans step up to the podium and shock the world. Tyree Wilson.
Wow.
Edge from Texas Tech.
Listen, man, I've been hearing some news about that guy, bro.
Yeah.
Anyways, that is a shocker. That is a shocker.
Wow.
But listen, as you know, I went quarterback, and now I'm at 3, and the Arizona Cardinals hold that pick. Their phones were buzzing. They had a couple trades in mind if Houston took Will Anderson, but Will Anderson slid to 3, and they said, we're taking our defensive player of the future, the cleanest, the safest, the best, probably one of the top 3 prospects in the draft. And to me, he's the most can't miss in the draft. So Arizona says, fuck this. We're not going to think about it too much. Let's take the best player available. And that's going to be Will Anderson Jr.
So Vegas, like you said, getting a bunch of calls. I mean, Arizona getting a bunch of calls. Spoiler alert. Decline the call from Tennessee area code. Decline the call from the Atlanta area code. Saw a Vegas area code, picked up the phone, made a trade, and the Las Vegas Raiders are now on the clock.
Wow.
And they are proud to select Will Levis, quarterback, Kentucky.
Wow.
Well, I have a very, very similar scenario here. Arizona's phones are going crazy, but it's not Vegas. The Colts are worried about. They want their guy. They're not going to take chances here. They're going to move up to 3 and draft the man, CJ Stroud out of Ohio State, the clear second best quarterback in this draft, in my opinion. And I don't think any other quarterback should be getting picked before him. And I think the Colts see it that way too.
I think Matt got it right here. Arizona didn't want to panic, didn't want to do anything stupid. Saw Will Anderson on the board and just ran to the podium to make that pick.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no one with a better tape in their 3 years in college than Will Anderson. The guy was a freak from day one.
That's why I have Texas taking him.
Yeah.
That's why Houston took him at
No doubt. If he gets out of the top 3, that's insane to me. Like, that's wild. Unless they go quarterback, you know?
Yeah.
But number 4, we got Dawson's team on the clock here. And like Liam said, in my opinion, CJ Stroud is by far the number 2 quarterback in this draft. And Indianapolis takes their guy for the future. So with the 4th pick, Colts take CJ Stroud, Ohio State.
CJ has been my number 1 want this entire draft process since I knew they had the 4 pick. And at times it seemed out of reach. But now, thankfully, because he's a bit of a dummy and doesn't test well, it's back in the scope of possibilities here. So with the 4th overall pick, my Indianapolis Colts select CJ Stroud, quarterback, Ohio State.
Yeah, so obviously my mocks change a little bit here. We have the Cardinals on the clock at 4, and they're going to go and get the second best edge rusher, maybe the one with the highest ceiling in this draft, in Tyree Wilson out of Texas Tech.
The Colts did not panic, and they sat there and they saw the quarterback of the future, and they went and got him. To me, the best quarterback in the draft, CJ Stroud, goes to the Indianapolis Colts.
All right.
I've been hearing about these test scores and stuff. I don't think it's true, bro.
I watched a video on it. Apparently, it's not true.
Same. I've been hearing a lot.
Say what they can say. Everything.
Apparently, they gave it to him when he was like hadn't slept because he was flying a whole day. Like when he was like about to go on the field and stuff. and then they retested him, and they weren't allowed to release the retest or something.
I don't like any of these tests and shit. I like tape, man. Just watch the tape.
Yeah.
The guy's a freak. All right. Now Denver was supposed to be on the clock, but decided to trade a bunch of first-round picks to Seattle. So Seattle has the 5th pick. And they're going to take a guy who is projected to go number 1. They're going to take Jalen Carter, and they're going to ignore all the noise. And they're going to take, in my opinion, the best player in this draft, who slid all the way down to 5, who might slide out of the top 7 because of all the noise and all the controversy, no pun intended, that came around him in the last few weeks. But Seattle gets their guy.
Look, let's be real. I think the noise and controversy is a little warranted, to be honest. But no, I have the exact same pick. The Seattle Seahawks select Jalen Carter out of Georgia.
Yeah, I have the same pick here. And if there's a guy who's willing to take a shot on a guy like Jalen Carter, it's Pete Carroll. So this pick makes way too much sense, and the fit is there as well. The need is there. So
Look, I believe the rumors leading up to the draft the last couple months are true. I think Seattle steps up, gets their guy of the future, the quarterback with the highest ceiling and the lowest floor, Anthony Richardson.
Wow.
AR-15.
Wow. That would be nuts.
My boy.
Fucking Gino will have the year of his life.
All right. We go to number 6 here.
Yep.
The pick that is held by Detroit. That is because of the trade from the LA Rams and Matthew Stafford, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But we have a trade. The Atlanta Falcons have traded up to number 6 and swapped number 8 with Detroit. And with that pick, they select Tyree Wilson, edge rusher out of Texas Tech.
All right, boys.
Interesting.
Buckle up.
Oh boy.
Okay.
So, on the clock, we have the Detroit Lions. And coming up all the way from pick number 16, the
Wow.
Washington Commanders have traded with the Detroit Lions and selected Anthony Richardson.
I'm done.
Back.
I'm
Florida.
I'm done with this. Get out of my face.
That's crazy. Well, number 6 is a glaring
The
need.
worst thing I've ever heard on an NBC episode.
There's a glaring need at the DB position for the Lions. They just obviously traded Okuda, and they're a team on the rise. They're a team who could potentially, win their division now with Aaron Rodgers gone. So they're gonna go and get the best corner available, and that's Christian Gonzalez at number 6 out of Oregon.
Look, Detroit just keeps getting lucky. It happened with Penei Sewell a couple years ago. It's going to happen again. Jalen Carter sitting right there for them to take. And like I said before, they sprint to the podium. And Dan Campbell head dives through a wall.
All right. Number 7 here. I've got Vegas. There's still a quarterback on the board, but they say no. They say we trust Jimmy G. We want Jimmy G. And we're going to protect him.
Send him to the brothel.
So they take Paris Johnson Jr. out of Ohio State, tackle, to protect our new quarterback.
So this is Vegas's pick, right?
Correct.
So Vegas, in my mock, has traded with Arizona. So Arizona is now on the clock. And they go ahead and they take Peter Skoronski, tackle, out of Northwestern.
Yeah, I have the same pick here. That's another area where they need help. Guard, center, tackle, doesn't matter. And Skoronski can probably play all 3 if he had to. So I think it's the best pick for them here at 7.
Look, growing up in a Raiders house, and I think my whole life, I think I've just seen one glaring hole. And when you're sitting at the top of the board here and there's a guy there that you could get, you have to take him. A guy that came out of nowhere after the season. Vegas is very happy to select Devin Witherspoon out of Illinois.
Wow.
Great pick.
Yeah. I mean, those are the top two guys, right? Devin Witherspoon and Christian Gonzalez. So in my draft, as you would remember, Atlanta traded up to 6 with Detroit going to 8. And Detroit takes, in my opinion, the best corner available in Christian Gonzalez out of Oregon. That's their pick at 8.
Atlanta is now on the clock. They go ahead, they step up. They take Tyree Wilson, edge, Texas Tech.
Yeah, I got them taking an edge as well, but Tyree Wilson has already been drafted. So they're going to go get the Georgia man, Nolan Smith, at pick 2.
Man, he's gross.
Yeah.
Look, just went corner. I think Atlanta went all out this year to rebuild that secondary, and I don't think they're done. They saw Vegas pass on him, and they're not going to let him slide anymore. Christian Gonzalez out of Oregon is going to Atlanta.
Mm-hmm. The corners are flying off the board, boys. All right. So that does it for part 1, picks 1 to 8. I'm going to go first. Carolina via Chicago takes Bryce Young. Houston takes Will Levis, quarterback. Arizona takes Will Anderson, edge. Indianapolis takes CJ Stroud, quarterback. Seattle takes Jalen Carter, defensive interior. Atlanta trades up with Detroit to take Tyree Wilson, edge. Vegas takes Paris Johnson Jr., tackle. And Detroit via Atlanta takes Christian Gonzalez, corner.
All right. So I have Carolina takes Bryce Young. Houston goes Will Anderson. Vegas, by way of Arizona, goes Will Levis. Indianapolis goes CJ Stroud. Seattle goes Jalen Carter. Washington, who now has Detroit's pick, goes Anthony Richardson. Arizona, with Las Vegas's pick, goes Peter Skoronski. And Atlanta goes Tyree Wilson out of Texas Tech.
Yeah, so Bryce Young going 1, Will Anderson going 2. The Colts via Arizona move up 1 spot and draft Stroud. The Cardinals select Tyree Wilson at 4. The Seattle Seahawks draft Jalen Carter at 5. Detroit draft Christian Gonzalez. Vegas at 7 pick Peter Skoronski. The Falcons at 8 pick Nolan Smith. And that's it.
Yeah, like everybody, I got Bryce Young going 1 to Carolina. Houston pulling a shocker of Tyree Wilson at 2. Will Anderson sitting there for Arizona at 3. Stroud for the Colts at 4. AR for Seattle at 5. Detroit snags Jalen Carter at 6. Vegas takes Devin Witherspoon at 7. And Atlanta takes their guy in Christian Gonzalez at 8.
All right. Let's move on.
I'm loving the diversity, man. I'm loving.
Yeah, it's great. That's what I love about these drafts, man. The NFL draft is nothing better. Let's go with picks 9 to 16. Pick 9, Chicago has it via Carolina, trading down from the 1 spot. And I feel like with this pick, they got to feel like they hit the lottery. And they're going to take corner Devin Witherspoon, who a lot of people think is the best corner in the draft. Not personally, but I think it's really close. And I think trading down, getting all of that draft capital and still being able to draft Devin Witherspoon was a huge win for them.
Yeah, I see this in another way where I think they still won a positional lottery, even though I have another tackle going ahead of him, but Chicago goes ahead, takes Paris Johnson Jr., arguably the best tackle in the draft as well, and protect their boy, Justin Fields.
Yeah, I have the exact same pick. And I don't know if you guys saw the videos from his pro day, but he looks like a freak, man. That guy can move. For that reason too, I think, he's the better tackle in this draft, the best tackle in this draft. And it's a no-brainer for Chicago here. They made a great trade getting out of 1.
Yeah, I think Chicago finally found a quarterback they're willing to build around, and they proved it this offseason. And last step is to protect him, and they take the best tackle, and that's Paris Johnson Jr.
All right. Now things get very, very interesting. Philadelphia holds New Orleans pick, trading when New Orleans traded up last year. And here's a scenario in my mock draft. Philadelphia is sitting down They're writing a name on their card, and they get a call. And it's from Tennessee, who's right under them at 11. And right as they're about to make a trade with Tennessee, they get a call from Washington at 16. And they make the ever so rare in-division trade with the Eagles and trade up 6 spots to take Anthony Richardson at 10.
Wow. Richardson to Washington twice.
Lock. It's a lock.
Oh.
Oh,
oh,
look at Shane.
oh man.
I'm in the dumps.
That's
Oh,
wild.
shit, it's my turn. With this, wait, what? Philadelphia, yeah. So Philly goes ahead. My first corner off the board. They take Devin Witherspoon. Sorry, Shane.
You're gonna hate this one even more.
Dude, I'm done. I'm out.
Listen, the Eagles arguably have the best roster in the NFL. Not a lot of holes to fill. They could go O-line or whatnot, but there's one player in this draft who is arguably the best player in this draft, and that's running back Bijan Robinson. Why not? You already have one of the best offenses in the league, and you have a guy who can come in and dominate day one. So they haven't really missed first round picks either. This is a great spot for them and a way to build their roster even better.
I feel like they miss first round picks like every second year.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna hope this one's a miss. And I literally called them a dog like 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
They go ahead and they snag Nolan Smith.
It's a very Eagles pick.
Yeah.
That guy is a product of why the NFL Combine can do you wonders.
I mean, he was absolutely disgusting in college. He was just hurt.
All right, 11 here. The Tennessee GM in my draft is still crying because he wanted Anthony Richardson. So he decides to go safe and take a tackle. And he takes Peter Skoronski at a Northwestern.
Well, boys, of all the mock drafts, we have the first receiver off the board. The Tennessee Titans go ahead. They take JSN, and they pair him up with Traylon Burks here.
Yeah, I also have them going JSN. I don't think the Malik Willis experiment is quite over. So we'll see. They're going to go get him some help in JSN.
Yeah, I mean, JSN, I don't really have anything else to say. It's him. I think it's a lock at this point, unless he's off the board at that point, which I don't see. I think they have to go JSN and help that offense not be one-dimensional with Derrick Henry, who they're trying to move.
Crazy.
All right, number 12, we have Cleveland's pick, but they traded that away to Houston. So like you guys just had all 3 of you guys pick them. Houston takes Jackson Smith and Jigba out of Ohio State, wide receiver.
With whatever this pick is, 13, 14, 15,
12.
12. Back-to-back picks I don't love as a Colts fan, and especially a Colts fan that has a team with not a great secondary. The Houston Texans go ahead. They take Quentin Johnson out of TCU.
Wow.
It's big. Well, contrary to most of these mock drafts, I still have 2 quarterbacks available. Houston didn't have to freak and take one at 2. They wait till 12 and draft Will Levis out of Kentucky.
Wow.
Will Anderson and Will Levis.
That's a hit.
Wow.
Boys, I think Houston is fired up right now that they didn't panic sitting there at 2. They got the guy that they think is the best player in the draft at 2.
Yeah.
And then they went and they sat there and they got their guy at 12 and Will Levis.
Gotta love it.
Patience. Patience.
It's a virtue.
And, so if you were living under a rock for the last month, you wouldn't know that Aaron Rodgers said he was going to the Jets, and yesterday they finally got it done. And a part of that deal was a pick swap of 13 and 15 between Green Bay and New York. So Green Bay is now on the clock. And their first order of business, after making Jordan Love the quarterback of the future, is surrounding him with a weapon. And the Green Bay Packers select who I believe is the best tight end in the draft in Dalton Kincaid at 13 out of Utah. I don't know if you guys seen film on this guy. He is gross.
Yeah. Basically just a big receiver, big wide receiver.
Well, the Aaron Rodgers-less Packers are proud to select Nolan Smith out of Georgia.
Such a Packers pick.
Well, I don't think the Packers are sold on making Mr. Love their quarterback of the future, and they're willing to take a flyer and hopefully find their next Aaron Rodgers in Anthony Richardson.
Wow.
Think about that.
That might be the shock of the draft.
And they're
Wow.
going to have a QB competition this offseason.
Wow.
That would be wild. All right. For the first time in Aaron Rodgers' career, the Packers are going to draft the receiver in the first round. They're going to go out and get a guy that I think will be an absolute star in the NFL. Zay Flowers. Welcome to Green Bay.
Wow.
Ooh.
I like
I
that.
like it.
His route running is fucked. All right. We've got another favorite pick on the board here. We got a 14. We got the New England Patriots. And that's Liam's team. And they decided to go with an absolute freak edge rusher out of Georgia in Nolan Smith
Wow.
at 14.
That'd be nice.
So I go with Nolan Smith, unfortunately, in my mock, just went off the board to Green Bay. But New England goes with another edge here. They go Miles Murphy out of Clemson.
Wow. All right. Well, I got them going in a different direction, and that's just because of the way my mock draft played out. Devin Witherspoon's still on the board, and they're done letting him slide. So
For sure.
they get him at 14.
Look, if there's one thing Bill Belichick can't do in the first round is draft any other position but an O-lineman.
Yeah.
So he's going to sit there and he's going to draft an O-line and he's going to take Peter Skoronski, who could play both guard and tackle for him.
Nice.
All right. The Jets, fresh off their pick swap with Green Bay. They have a new quarterback, perhaps the new face of New York, Aaron Rodgers. So they decide
Danny Dimes.
we're going to protect him. And they take Broderick Jones, tackle out of Georgia.
So this is back to back, Matt, where we have similar ideas. We just go with a different name. So I have the Jets taking a tackle here. They go Darnell Wright out of Tennessee.
Well, same idea, different name, Broderick Jones out of Georgia.
Look, I think Robert Saleh came in. He hasn't had a chance to build that defense the way he wants to. He's going to go ahead. He's going to get an absolute dog coming off the edge. He's going to go ahead. He's going to snag Lucas Van Ness from Iowa.
I like that.
Sleeper.
A guy that honestly could go way higher than what I've
Yes. All right. So as you remember, in my draft, Philadelphia traded down with Washington.
This one's going to
As you recall, in my hypothetical story, they had a name written on a card, and they were about to hand it in, but then they got that call. So the funny thing is,
Same name.
that guy is still on the board at 16. So Philadelphia, with a great Philadelphia thing to do, they traded down and got a bunch of draft capital and are still able to draft their running back of the future in Bijan Robinson.
Bijan Robinson, no matter what.
Has to be.
Oh, it's my turn. Shit.
Wake up.
So in my mock draft, this pick, formerly held by Washington, is now held by Detroit. So Washington traded all the way up to 6 with Detroit. And Detroit is proud to select Kalijah Cansey out of Pitt.
Wow. What a pick.
All
What
right.
a pick.
Well, Washington is still at pick 16 in my mock draft here. And I think they trust their guy Taylor Heineke, and they want to build up that
Well, he's
offense.
in Atlanta, so I don't know how much they
Oh.
can trust him.
Wait,
Sam
what?
Howell's, yeah.
Who they have at Q right now?
Sam Howell, Jacoby Brissett.
No way, dude.
Yeah.
I'm sleeping under a rock, I guess. Well, they're still gonna go add, another versatile weapon on offense, and that's tight end Dalton Kincaid.
You guys are just pissing me off at this point. And I'm just gonna also piss myself off. Washington made a point to upgrade their O-line this offseason, it seemed like. And they're not done doing that. They go out there and they take my boy, Osiris Torrance, off the board from Florida to play the guard position for the next 10 to 15 years.
All right. So that's picks
For
9.
Leonard Williams to absolutely bully him.
So that picks 9 to 16. So Chicago, I have them taking Devin Witherspoon corner. I have the Commanders trading up to 10 to take Anthony Richardson. The Tennessee Titans to take Peter Skoronski. Houston taking JSN. Green Bay taking Dalton Kincaid. The Pats taking Nolan Smith. The Jets taking Broderick Jones. And the Eagles taking Bijan Robinson at 16.
So here I have Chicago taking Paris Johnson Jr., Philadelphia taking Devin Witherspoon, Tennessee taking JSN, Houston taking Quentin Johnson, Green Bay taking Nolan Smith, New England taking Miles Murphy, New York Jets taking Darnell Wright, and Detroit via Washington is taking Kalijah Cansey.
Yeah, similar to Dawson here, I have Chicago picking Paris Johnson Jr. at 9 at tackle. The Eagles picking Bijan Robinson at 10. The Tennessee Titans drafting JSN at 11. The Texans get their guy Will Levis at 12. The Green Bay Packers get their guy of the future in Anthony Richardson at 13. The Patriots draft Devin Witherspoon, who slid all the way to them. The Jets go and draft Broderick Jones, tackle out of Georgia. And the Commanders add a versatile weapon in Dalton Kincaid at 16.
Chicago goes ahead, gets their tackle to protect their quarterback and Paris Johnson. Nolan Smith comes off flying off the edge for Philly, and I cry myself to sleep. Tennessee goes ahead and takes JSN. Houston gets their guy for the future in Will Levis. Aaron Rodgers is throwing a tantrum in New York after Zay Flowers ends up in Green Bay. New England takes Peter Skoronski. The Jets go ahead and take Lucas Van Ness. And Washington ruins my night completely after taking Osiris Torrance.
All right, let's go with pick 17 to 24. And 17 has the Steelers on the clock. And with the 17th pick, Pittsburgh takes a corner out of Maryland, Deontay Banks.
Dog.
Yeah, great pick.
Well, in my mock here, Mr. Christian Gonzalez is still on the board.
Wow.
So the Steelers go ahead
What?
and snag
That's
him.
impossible.
Hey, everything's made sense thus far. Maybe New England would take him, but it all adds up.
All right. I have them going corner, but not Deontay Banks. They're gonna go get the in-state guy, Joey Porter Jr. out of Penn State.
Yeah, if you guys recall last year, they drafted the quarterback of the future, a receiver of the future. The year before that, they drafted the running back of the future. All that and nobody to block for them. Roderick, you are now a Pittsburgh Steeler.
I like that.
All right. And now we have pick 18 held by the Lions. And for the second time in this draft, I have the Lions trading down. And I have Baltimore trading up to 18 to take Penn State cornerback Joey Porter Jr.
I like
So in
that.
my draft, Detroit has already drafted Kalijah Cansey just 2 picks ago. And Detroit has never been shy to use draft capital on tight ends, Eric Ebron, Hawkinson, and they do it again this year. They go Dalton Kincaid.
That'd be dope.
Yeah, I have the Detroit Lions going tight end here, but they're drafting Michael Mayer, their next TJ Hawkinson, their TJ Hawkinson replacement, because God knows who's playing tight end there right now.
Look, the Detroit Lions are having a night, man. Once again, they sit there and get a position that they need so desperately, and one of the biggest names in college football, Joey Porter Jr. You are going to Detroit, buddy.
I like
Yep.
that.
All right, at 19 we have the Tampa Bay Bucks, and I have them going tackle here. Darnell Wright out of Tennessee at 19.
So some would say we have a bit of a reach on our hands here, but Tampa Bay goes ahead. They take Brian Bresee out of Clemson.
Ooh, I like that one.
Interesting. Interesting. He falls out of my first round actually.
I got them going defense as well here, but they're going to go corner and draft Mr. Deontay Banks.
Something about Tampa Bay, and they love their big guys, and Elijah Cansey's sitting right there for them, and they're ecstatic to take him.
All right, at 20 we have the Seahawks back on the board for the second time, and they just went Jalen Carter in my draft. They're gonna go with edge, put someone right beside him in Lucas Van Ness out of Iowa.
Wow.
So in my draft, the Seahawks also drafted Jalen Carter, but they go with someone that's probably going to go head to head with him all year in practice, and that's Osiris Torrance out of Florida.
A boy,
Believe it or not, I also had Osiris Torrance out
a
of
boy.
Seattle at pick 20.
All right, it feels like my whole life Seattle's needed one of these, and they had one, and then traded him in my boy Frank Clark. So they're gonna go ahead and get their own version of Frank Clark. Miles Murphy going to Seattle.
I like that.
So now it would have been Miami's pick, but they forfeited their first round pick. So the 21st pick belongs to the Chargers. And I have them taking perhaps the most explosive receiver in this draft, in Zay Flowers out of Boston College.
We have a trade to announce.
Oh,
Shane, don't get excited.
oh,
The Los Angeles Chargers have traded this pick to the Philadelphia Eagles. And with this pick, the Philadelphia Eagles select Bijan Robinson, running back, Texas.
Wow.
That's crazy. I also had Zay Flowers getting picked here at pick 21 by the Chargers.
Wait, who was it that had the Eagles taking Bijan Robinson at 10? It was you, Leo?
Yeah.
Okay.
getting real tired of this shit, boys. Look, there's a lot of controversy going on over there in the Chargers, and there's a guy that wants out by the name of Austin Eckler. So you know what? Chargers are just going to replace him. Bijan Robinson
I
is
had it
going
there originally.
to the Chargers.
I like that. I
Me
like
too.
that.
So at 22 here, it's supposed to be Baltimore, but as you know, they traded up in my draft with Detroit. So Detroit holds that pick for me, and they take their tight end of the future, Notre Dame tight end Michael Mayer.
Baltimore stays patient, doesn't trade up, and grabs Joey Porter Jr. out of Penn State.
Baltimore goes out and gets some much needed O-line help, and they go and draft Darnell Wright out of Tennessee.
I like where Dawson went with his pick here. There's another corner left, a big corner left on the board. That is Deontay Banks out of Maryland going to the Baltimore Ravens.
Stays home.
All right. I'm going to give you my pick, and I'm going to give a very bold prediction. So here at 23, we have the Vikings on the board, and they're going to take a receiver as they just let go of Adam Thielen. And they're going to take the 2023-2024 Offensive Rookie of the Year, Jordan Addison. And I'm going to tell you why. First of all, he's my favorite receiver in the draft. Okay, I'm not going to say he's the best receiver in the draft. I'm not going to go that far, but he's my favorite receiver in the draft. And also, he's going to be the receiver number 2 to Justin Jefferson. So he's going to get a lot of targets if Justin Jefferson is being doubled. He's going to be the secondary guy to the best receiver in the NFL. You're going to be getting targets, and that's a very good way to get production. You're going to get a lot of yards, a lot of catches. He's going to have a lot of success, and he's going to be the Offensive Rookie of the Year. Bold prediction.
All right. Well, Matt feels some type of way about this pick, and I also have Jordan Addison. So pretend I said.
All right. Well, I have them addressing another need, a guy who could have been picked way earlier, and that's defensive lineman Kalijah Kancey out of Pitt.
Maybe the shock of the draft. Not a position of need at the moment,
I
but
think
a position that will be filled, and then they will trade the starter that they have right now.
Whoa.
Minnesota Vikings
Oh, I know who you're going to pick.
are proud to select Jahmyr Gibbs.
Oh, I wasn't going to
Oh,
think
that was
that's,
running
that's,
back.
I think you're
Wow.
going to say like Hendon Hooker or something.
I thought he was going to take Hendon Hooker too.
Yeah, I originally had Minnesota taking a running back too.
Yeah, 24, we have the Jags. And just like they did last year in the first round, I have them taking an edge rusher in Miles Murphy out of Clemson.
I have Jacksonville taking a Bama boy here in Brian Branch.
Very good.
Yeah, I also have them taking Brian Branch, just a guy who can fly all over the field, which is a place they could use some help.
Jacksonville needs a corner. Go ahead. They take the best corner available in Emmanuel Forbes.
Mm-hmm. He's really good too. All right, so that does it for part 3. 17, I have the Steelers taking Deonte Banks. 18, I have Baltimore trading up at the Lions to take Joey Porter Jr. 19, Tampa Bay takes Darnell Wright. 20, Seattle takes Lucas Van Ness. Miami forfeits their pick. So at 21, the Chargers take Zay Flowers. At 22, after the trade, Detroit takes Michael Mayer. 23, Minnesota takes future Offensive Rookie of the Year, Jordan Addison. And 24, I have Jacksonville taking Miles Murphy, edge.
Well, in one of 2 slides in my draft, Christian Gonzalez goes to Pittsburgh here. Detroit takes Dalton Kincaid. Tampa Bay takes Brian Bresee. Seattle takes Osiris Torrance. Philadelphia, by way of the Chargers, go ahead and grab Bijan. Baltimore takes Joey Porter Jr. Minnesota takes Jordan Addison, and Jacksonville takes Brian Branch.
Yeah, I have the Steelers going corner as well, but they're taking Joey Porter Jr. at 17. The Lions add their tight end of the future and Michael Mayer at 18. The Bucs draft corner Deonte Banks at 19. Seattle draft Osiris Torrance, the guard out of Florida. 21, the Chargers draft Zay Flowers out of BC. 22, the Baltimore Ravens draft Darnell Wright, tackle outside of Tennessee. At 23, the Vikings get a guy who slid a little bit here in Kalijah Kancey. And the Jags get Brian Branch at pick 24 out of Alabama.
Pittsburgh starts us off here with Broderick Jones. Detroit gets Joey Porter Jr. Tampa gets Kalijah Kancey. Miles Murphy goes to Seattle. Bijan finally does not end up on the Eagles and goes to the Chargers. Deonte Banks goes to Baltimore. Jahmyr Gibbs takes over for Dalvin Cook. And Emmanuel Forbes heads to sunny Florida.
All right.
It's time, boys.
And from 25 to 31, we have 2 more favorite picks. Starting at 25, with Shaner's Giants.
Oh baby, talk to me nice.
And I have them assessing a need. I feel like that we've been saying they
Whole
need
team.
for the longest time. So I have them taking a receiver here at 25. And I have them taking Quentin Johnson out of TCU. How do you feel about that?
I'm not upset about it.
All right.
Well, in my draft, JSN went, then Quentin Johnson went, and then Jordan Addison went.
It's time.
I mean, Zay Flowers is still on the board. The Giants are proud to select him out of
Let's
Buffalo.
go.
Him.
Fire me up.
Well, very similar fashion. JSN is taken. Zay Flowers is taken. Who else did I say was taken? That's it, I believe. Anyways, they go ahead and draft Jordan Addison out of USC, the future
Dream.
rookie of the year, according to Matt.
The
Yes.
dream. I'd be so
Yes.
far. That's the dream if they get Jordan Addison. But boys, Jordan Addison is on the board.
Yes, sir.
But the New York Giants are not making this pick.
Wow.
We have a blockbuster to announce.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
The New York Giants get their guy, send this pick to San Francisco for Brandon Ayuk.
Whoa.
Oh, wow.
I like
So they're
that.
trading 25. They're trading 25 to San Francisco just for Brandon Ayuk.
Ayuk.
All right.
And I don't know, maybe like other picks, but I don't know about that. I didn't go
Yeah.
that far into it. And then the 49ers go ahead and replace Ayuk with Jordan Addison.
I like that a lot.
Damn.
Wow. Interesting. All right. At 26, we have the Dallas Cowboys. Also one of the best rosters in the NFL. And I have them replacing Ezekiel Elliott with Jahmyr Gibbs out of Alabama, who I think is going to be a star in the NFL.
I like it. Is Zeke somewhere else, or am I stupid? No, he's not. Eh?
No, not yet.
With this pick, the Dallas Cowboys go and select Mozzie Smith, D-line out of Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Well, yeah, I think everyone and their mothers who are Cowboys fans really wanted Bijan. He's gone, unfortunately. So they're going to go and get the next best running back in Jahmyr Gibbs as well at 26.
Listen, there's a hole on that offense, and a guy that had a lot of production for that team, and that's Schultz is gone, boys. They're gonna go ahead and they're gonna snag Dalton Kincaid.
Wow, that's a dream pick.
Trade in a Dalton for a Dalton.
You know, that's a dream scenario.
Trust me, it hurt me to write it down.
Oh my god,
It hurt me even more to say it out loud.
all right. 27, we have the Buffalo Bills. And I have them taking corner here. Emmanuel Forbes out of Mississippi State.
I also, same situation. Going corner, different name, not off the board yet. Deontay Banks.
Wow.
Yeah.
God, I love this draft. I love this draft, man. There's so many good names.
I got them going defense, but they're going to go get the edge that has slipped a little bit in my draft in Miles Murphy out of Clemson.
For the second time in 3 picks, we have a trade to announce.
Oh, wow.
Fireworks at the end of the round.
The Los Angeles Rams have traded up with the Buffalo Bills, and they select Hendon Hooker,
Whoa.
quarterback, Tennessee.
Wow. Oh my god.
I like
That is wild. All right. 28, we have Cincinnati. And I have them going with Darnell Washington out of Georgia, the tight end who's 6'7". That guy has a chance to be really, really good in the NFL. And as a Saints fan, it breaks my heart seeing him going at 28, because if he slides to 29, I would love to see him get picked by the Saints.
Well, again, same exact thing. Same position, different player. I have Cincinnati going Michael Mayer here.
Yeah, I'm going same position. Obviously, the two first tight ends have been taken off the board in my draft, and Kincaid and Mayer. So they're going to go Darnell Washington as well and give Burrow another weapon to throw to.
I think they're satisfied with the weapons they have for Burrow right now, and they see that that defense needs to be upgraded. And there's one name sitting right here that should not be sitting here. They go ahead and they take Brian Branch out of Alabama.
Mhm.
Did they just lose Jesse Bates too? Or was
Yeah,
that-
yeah.
All right.
We got a favorite on the clock.
Yep.
29, we have the Saints who traded away Sean Payton to the Broncos and took that pick at 29. And honestly, I don't think this is going to happen. This is a dream scenario, and I just wanted him to be in my mock. But the Saints just lost a lot of interior D linemen. And personally, one of my dream picks here is them going with Khalid Kancey out of Pittsburgh. That's a dream scenario for the Saints, in my opinion. Don't think it's going to happen, but if it did, that'd be great.
That would be great. I don't know how you'll feel about this one. I think you'll like it. I have the Saints going corner. And they take Emmanuel Forbes.
I would love that. I would love that.
I got them going defensive side of the ball as well, and they're going to go and draft edge rusher Lucas Van Ness, who's a pretty big body.
Oh my God,
Big
yes.
strong side for, you know.
How is he still?
Oh my God, yes. Please.
Yeah, I know. It's still
Well-
on my board.
What?
What?
My last two picks are both guys that should have been gone already.
That's wild.
I just had other edges going before him, to be honest.
All right. Well, I mean, there's a new quarterback in town in New Orleans, and he's always been a big tight end guy. And Michael Mayer is sitting right
Oh
there.
my God, yes.
And I've seen that guy play live, and my God, should he be off the board by now?
Oh. I love
Someone get Matt some Kleenex.
Oh my goodness. Does that fire me up? Boy, am I excited for this guy. Knowing the Saints are going to take a guy who was projected to go like 70th. Fuck. All right. At 30, the Eagles are picking again in their original spot, and they're taking one of the best defensive players in the draft. Unfortunately, safeties aren't highly valuable in the draft, but they go with Brian Branch, Alabama, and they're happy, very happy about it.
So in my mock, the Philadelphia Eagles traded this pick to the Chargers and went ahead and selected Bijan Robinson. So the Chargers are now on the clock. But the Chargers are trading back again
Wow.
to the Indianapolis Colts.
Classic.
To
Oh,
jump back into the first round, shore up their tackle situation, and draft Broderick Jones out of
wow.
Oh, shit.
What is happening, Dawson?
Number 30, I have the Eagles picking here. Obviously, they went kind of crazy in Bijan, something I don't think they would do historically and go and draft a player like him. But at 30, they go and address a need, and that's an edge guy, Will McDonald, the fourth out of Iowa State.
We have a trade to announce.
Wow. Dun, 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 dun.
Arizona Cardinals are now on the clock.
Wow.
Quentin Johnson, receiver from TCU.
Is D Hop included in the package?
He better not be.
That'd be wild.
Alrighty. And we round off this draft with the defending Super Bowl champion, Kansas City Chiefs at pick 31. And I have them giving Patrick Mahomes yet another weapon. And I have them taking Jalen Hyatt out of Tennessee at 31.
Easy.
A guy, as an Alabama fan, I find to be a nightmare, considering he scored 5 touchdowns against Alabama last year.
That's the wildest game I've ever watched in my life.
Kid's a good receiver, man.
So, Shane, who in the last 10 years has been your favorite Kansas City Chiefs player?
Come on.
Darius Toney is that Frank Clark, Frank the Tank, Frank the Tank.
Frank Clark is no longer in Kansas City.
Boo. Chiefs
And
don't
they
deserve
get-
their ring.
They were give a little replacement here with Lucas Van Ness out of Iowa at pick 32.
Bro, if he's there at 31, I'll personally make the trade call for the Giants to trade up and get him.
All right, pick 31, last pick of the first round. Oddly enough, I got them going and adding another target for Patrick Mahomes. This time a bigger body in Quentin Johnston at 31.
As Dawson said before, they did my boy dirty. Frank the Tank is no longer there. So they go ahead and they replace him with Felix Anudike Uzama.
Nice.
All right. Great pronunciation, by the way. I don't
I
think
know,
I
I'm
can,
basically Roger Goodell. I don't know. It's just,
That was great.
I don't think I can do that.
Get Shane to announce the fucking draft.
Nice. All right, so after part 4, we have the Giants taking Quentin Johnson at 25, Dallas taking Jahmyr Gibbs at 26, Buffalo taking Emmanuel Forbes at 27, Cincinnati taking Darnell Washington at 28, the Saints taking Kalijah Kancey at 29, Brian Branch going to the Eagles at 30, and Jalen Hyatt going to the Chiefs at 31.
Yeah, this last section of the draft for me is just filled with steals.
Yeah.
Giants go Zay Flowers. Dallas goes Mozzie Smith. Buffalo goes Deontay Banks. Cincinnati goes Michael Mayer. New Orleans goes Emmanuel Forbes. Indianapolis via the Chargers, via the Eagles go Broderick Jones. And Kansas City goes Lucas Van Ness.
Yeah, I feel like everyone's getting steals. It's true, you're right. Hey, I think it's just a deep draft or a deep there's some good players all around. Anyways, at 25, I got the Giants drafting Jordan Addison out of USC.
Oh, fire me up, boys.
The Cowboys picking Jahmyr Gibbs out of Bama. The Bills at 27 getting Miles Murphy out of Clemson. Darnell Washington goes to Cincinnati at 28. Lucas Van Ness goes to the Saints at 29. The Eagles draft Will McDonald IV out of Iowa State at 30. And the Chiefs go add the big-bodied receiver in Quentin Johnston at 31.
Start off with a shocker that my boys are not going to make a first-round pick. They get my boy Brandon Ayuk for Jordan Addison to San Francisco. Dalton Kincaid goes to replace Dalton Schultz in Dallas. Rams trade up, get their guy of the future in Hendon Hooker. Cincinnati goes and takes Brian Branch. New Orleans takes Michael Mayer. Arizona trades up and takes Quentin Johnson. And KC takes Felix Anudike Uzama.
Wow.
And that
What?
does it.
Episode. My goodness, I cannot wait for Thursday. By the way, if big trades happen on Wednesday or Thursday morning, don't lose your mind on us. We did these on Tuesday. All right,
Listen, if Brandon Ayuk's a Giants at the end of this, just say I called it.
for sure.
I
And
made
listen-
the trade call.
That does it for the mock draft special. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be posting our full mock draft graphic on Instagram, so go follow us there. Subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram. All of our, I guess, TikToks too. And yeah, you heard it here first. If Minnesota takes Jordan Addison, he is winning Offensive Rookie of the Year. If you do all those things that we said before, like subscribing, Shaner will give you a little kiss. So let's see it happen. Bye.
Wow.